falling in love for 5 years, tragically subjected to PUA abuse and severe mistreatment. When the police took him for treatment, the doctor said, "You have only 10 days left to live." This is a bizarre story that happened between an odd couple. A 16-year-old boy unexpectedly met his true love. She was fair-skinned, beautiful, and very pretty. He fell in love at first sight. For his girlfriend, he cut ties with his family and friends, thinking he was living an enviable life. The couple was loving and life seemed sweet, but in reality, he was living worse than a dog, sleeping on the floor, eating leftovers, and facing weapons from the shadows like boiling kettles, broken cue sticks, and sharp knives that left numerous scars on his body. And the one holding these weapons was his beloved girlfriend. So why did this loving couple end up like this? Hello! Welcome to the Crime Documentary Files channel. Let's travel back to 2012 and revisit the cause and effect of this case. Bedfordshire, located in the eastern region of England, is a crucial transportation hub connecting London with central and northern England, as well as other parts of the UK. Due to its advantageous location and convenient transportation, many domestic and foreign private enterprises have set up headquarters or branches here. Our story today takes place here. Alex, an introverted young man, was born prematurely in 1995 in Stuartby, Bedfordshire, weighing less than 2 pounds at birth. After multiple resuscitations, he survived and has been the apple of his family's eye ever since. Despite being overly pampered by his family, Alex did not become rebellious, but instead grew up sensible and obedient. Besides his family, Alex only had football on his mind. On weekends, he would gather a few friends to play football, and at home, he liked to stick with his grandfather. In his eyes, life would always be carefree, and love was just a fleeting cloud. In his words, "I don't care about girls at all." It must be said that he was too young. With the appearance of a girl, his outlook was completely changed, and his life underwent a tremendous transformation. On June 3rd, 2012, it was a weekend, and 16-year-old Alex had no classes. He decided to visit a friend's school performance. Suddenly, he saw a beautiful girl, and his heart felt as if it had been struck by lightning. At that moment, he knew he was in love. The girl's name was Jordan, the heroine of this shocking story. At 16, she was already an excellent gymnast with good looks and a graceful figure, always drawing everyone's attention wherever she went. Jordan had also noticed Alex. "Hi, are you here to watch the game too?" Alex mustered up all his courage to start a conversation, which fortunately went well. They began chatting, and Alex found himself very compatible with this girl. Talking to girls was exciting. Unsurprisingly, their relationship quickly advanced, and they became a couple. Alex was so excited to introduce Jordan to his friends. Conveniently, his family was going on a trip, so Alex quickly invited a few friends over and held several parties at home, with the main focus being to introduce his beautiful girlfriend, Jordan. During the party, Jordan behaved gently and sweetly, winning unanimous praise from his friends. "She seems like a cool girl. We get along well, as if we're all good friends. The first time we met, she was very friendly. She's always quiet and shy. Everyone finds her cute and likes her." At the party, the youngsters sang, danced, and drank to their heart's content. Everyone was happy, and friends teased Alex, saying he was really lucky to find such a beautiful and understanding girlfriend. At this moment, 17-year-old Alex felt like he was on top of the world, with a happy family, friends, and love. The future seemed bright, but little did he know how quickly things would change. Jordan began to dislike Alex's grey clothes and hairstyle, not liking this and that. Alex didn't think much of it, as Jordan was his goddess, and he was willing to go along with whatever made her happy. Their days passed peacefully until April 2013. Jordan had turned 18, and Alex's family booked tickets for the Lion King musical in a London theatre to celebrate her birthday. However, during an intermission, when Alex went to the bathroom, Jordan suddenly disappeared. He searched every corner, even checking the women's restroom, but couldn't find her. Frantically, he enlisted his family's help. The anxiety of a boyfriend whose girlfriend went missing in a big city at midnight is imaginable. After more than an hour, Alex finally found Jordan in the hotel lobby. She had returned to the hotel alone, and Alex still remembers the strange smile on her face at that time. This incident was just the beginning, with more bizarre events following one after another, and conflicts with his family increasing. 4 months later, on August 17th, Alex and his twin brother celebrated their 18th birthday. The family held a grand birthday party, inviting many relatives and friends. Everyone was having a good time, but Jordan's behavior embarrassed Alex. That night, Jordan had a conflict with another young girl, publicly insulting her. This girl was also known to Alex, as she was the daughter of his mum's good friend. The commotion drew everyone's attention, and over 100 pairs of eyes were on them. Such an unpleasant incident at a joyful event was unexpected, especially since the troublemaker was his girlfriend. Alex wanted to mediate, but Jordan's retort left him speechless. "If she doesn't leave, I will." The music stopped abruptly, and the adults demanded that Jordan leave. Alex felt wronged and didn't want Jordan to go, and tears flowed uncontrollably. His friends, unable to bear it, dragged him to the restroom, urging him to be rational, but Alex was stubborn, shouting, "I want to take care of her, I want to be with her, I love her." This incident caused a lot of unhappiness, and everyone around could see that Jordan was selfish, wanting Alex all to herself, even resenting him for spending time with his family. Despite the conflicts, Jordan did not restrain herself, arguing with Alex several more times and breaking his phone to prevent him from contacting friends. Reflecting on the past, Alex suddenly realized that many things were Jordan's fault, not his. Though reluctant, after much consideration, he decided to end the relationship. Alex returned to his peaceful life, reconnecting with his familiar circle of friends. His friends and family were happy for him. However, just when everything seemed to be returning to normal, Jordan reappeared with a bombshell announcement: "I'm pregnant, and the baby is Alex's." Initially, Alex's family was skeptical of this news until they witnessed Jordan take a pregnancy test. Especially Alex's mother, Geraldine, couldn't stay calm. Her sons were still in school, and she had never held a grandchild in her life. Considering the child and Alex's responsibility as a father, Geraldine advised Alex not to completely break up with Jordan and to make some compromises. Alex, being sensible, understood his responsibility. Even if they didn't reconcile, he wanted to support Jordan and the baby. However, Jordan didn't follow the usual course. After delivering this news, she disappeared for nearly a year without any contact with Alex. A year later, Geraldine suddenly received a text message. "Do you want to see your grandson?" The message was undoubtedly from Jordan, and it indicated she had given birth to a boy. Naturally, anyone would want to see their grandchild, so Geraldine agreed. On August 12, 2015, when Jordan showed up at the doorstep with the baby, the grandmother was extremely excited. She couldn't take her eyes off the baby in the stroller, who looked incredibly cute and endearing. Besides Alex, the rest of the family met this spirited baby. Seeing Jordan tenderly and carefully holding the baby, the family's attitude towards her softened, thinking that motherhood had changed her for the better. This was Jordan's clever move. She first contacted Alex's mother, building a bridge to the family. Relatives began to persuade Alex that perhaps Jordan had changed for the better after becoming a mother. Geraldine even arranged a private meeting between Alex and the baby, hoping Alex would accept the child, and by extension, Jordan. As Alex entered the room, he saw the little boy lying on the blanket, and was not surprised because the baby looked just like he did as a child. The small body and tiny feet made Alex instantly fall in love with the little guy, and even more so did Alex's grandfather, who couldn't get enough of holding his great-grandson. The following events were predictable. Alex accepted Jordan again. By the time their friends found out, Alex and Jordan were already living together again. The speed of their reconciliation left everyone speechless. On January 1st, 2015, Alex and Jordan officially announced their reconciliation on social media. With a shared blood tie, Alex fell back in love, not realizing that history was repeating itself. One day, while out, the couple ran into the girl who had argued with Jordan at the birthday party. Seeing her made Jordan furious, and she started a fight with the girl in the street. The incident ended unpleasantly, and the girl called her mother, crying. The girl's mother immediately called Geraldine, making the grandmother very embarrassed. Geraldine couldn't help but reprimand Jordan, saying things like, "You shouldn't have done that. It's all in the past. You should grow up." Geraldine thought Jordan had listened because she didn't retort. However, the next moment, Jordan started packing up the child's belongings. She told Alex, "You either stay here or come with me. You have to choose." At that moment, 19-year-old Alex didn't realize it was a fatal choice. He chose to go with Jordan because he couldn't bear to leave the child. In May 2015, Jordan took Alex to her parents' house. For the next 2 years, Alex never returned or couldn't return. Hoping for a happy family life with Jordan, Alex completely lost his family and friends because of her. Soon after returning home, Jordan started interrogating Alex about whether he had contacted any other girls during her pregnancy and disappearance. Despite Alex's explanations, Jordan remained suspicious. She changed his phone and number, even taking his gaming console to cut off all contact with the outside world. Geraldine, wanting to contact her son but unable to reach him, eventually used mobile banking to send him £1 with a note saying, "I love you." Unexpectedly, the reply was quick but heart-wrenching, "I hate you. Stay away from me." In July 2016, Jordan moved again, perhaps fearing they would be found at her parents' house. She and Alex moved to Stuartby, creating a secluded world for the three of them. With their adorable son and beautiful surroundings, they started planning another child. Jordan soon became pregnant again, but alongside the baby came a lot of trouble. Alex found a job he liked, but Jordan intervened and ruined it. She took his wallet and didn't allow him to work, insisting he accompany her to school. Jordan was pursuing an art degree at the nearby University of Hertfordshire, aiming to become a teacher. She didn't want Alex to work, fearing he would secretly visit his family. So, Alex spent every day accompanying Jordan to school, with his life entirely under her control. To his former friends, Alex seemed to have vanished. They wouldn't have discovered how malicious Jordan was if they hadn't stumbled upon Alex's renamed Facebook account. The account name had an added middle name, undoubtedly Jordan's doing. When friends asked why he changed his name and didn't reply to messages, the account responded with harsh words. "I was never your friend and don't want any contact with you. I always deceived you." Based on their understanding of Alex, his friends saw through Jordan's manipulation and were more worried about Alex's well-being. Alex's grandfather, who was even more concerned, sent a birthday greeting to the renamed account on Alex's 21st birthday in 2016, only to receive a reply saying, "Stop messaging me." The loving grandfather reassured Alex, "I don't want to disturb your life as long as you're okay." This wasn't the first time Jordan had played such tricks. While staying at her parents' house, Jordan once lied to Alex, saying, My mom heard that your grandfather passed away." Alex was devastated, crying alone in his room for over an hour while Jordan watched. In the end, she revealed, "I was just kidding. You care too much about your family." What she didn't know was that Alex had been doted on by his grandfather since he was a child. The grandfather and grandson had been close for many years, and Jordan didn't think twice before making such a vicious joke. But Jordan's malice didn't stop there. Once, when the two were traveling to London, Jordan cursed all the way because she always suspected that Alex liked other girls and wouldn't listen to any explanations. She even said that if he didn't tell the truth, they wouldn't go anywhere. Alex could only try to coax her because they had already arrived in London, and it was obviously inappropriate to go back. But no matter how he coaxed her, it didn't work. Then Jordan got an idea. She went out and bought some sleeping pills and said that if he took one, they could go out. Alex had no choice but to comply. Unexpectedly, Jordan shoved all the remaining pills into his mouth and ordered him to chew and swallow them all. Alex complied. If the previous control still had some limits, the subsequent life was a living hell for Alex. Starting in September, Jordan began to physically abuse Alex, giving him a daily beating. If she forgot one night, she would make up for it the next day. Poor Alex didn't even have the privilege of sleeping on the bed. He used clothes as a blanket and a pillow and slept on the floor. When to eat and what to eat were controlled by Jordan, and he could only eat leftovers. Jordan wanted Alex to obey completely and be at her mercy. Once, Alex didn't complete Jordan's instructions. He was suddenly awakened by a severe pain on his head and saw a cup rolling down and Jordan's resentful eyes. The next moment, bright red blood flowed from his forehead. Such days continued for a while, and Alex seemed to have gotten used to the intense violence. But Jordan escalated further. She grabbed a hammer and aimed at Alex's head, arms and legs. Alex knew that this could be deadly if mishandled, so he found an opportunity to secretly throw the hammer away. But Jordan, like a mad woman, could turn anything into a weapon, such as a charger, a wooden stick, a kettle, and a bread knife. Jordan seemed unsatisfied. She bought a lie detector and strapped Alex's hand to it for testing. Alex was puzzled because the device kept buzzing even though he hadn't lied. Whenever the lie detector buzzed, Jordan would pick up the prepared kettle. Despite living in hellish torment, Alex still had hopes. He thought that maybe everything would be better when the baby was born. On May 2nd, 2017, their second child, a daughter named Alice, was born. But the change Alex hoped for didn't come. The abuse escalated, and Jordan even resorted to direct violence. Around 1 a.m. on June 3rd, 2017, another round of abuse began. Jordan's threats and Alex's apologies caught the neighbors' attention. The Bedford police quickly arrived at Jordan's house.
Bedford police, how can I help?
There's a couple and it sounds like they're having a really, really bad fight. He's shouting and I'm sorry, not my fault. Get off me, leave me alone. Stop hurting me.
Sergeant Ed knocked on the door, and the first thing he saw was Jordan, who calmly claimed that Alex had hurt himself. However, the scene inside shocked the police. Alex was sitting on the stairs, barefoot and covered in bruises, with a towel wrapped around his arm, blood everywhere, and clothes scattered on the floor. The sight was enough to suggest something terrible had happened. The officers even found a large serrated bread knife in the bedroom, which matched the wounds on Alex's wrists. But no matter how the police questioned him, Alex kept his head down, insisting he had hurt himself and that it had nothing to do with Jordan. The police had no choice but to take Alex to the hospital for treatment. But just as he was about to enter the operating room, Jordan suddenly appeared and insisted on taking him home. A nurse, anxious and worried, quickly called the doctor, but they couldn't stop them from leaving. As they were about to leave, the doctor quietly asked Alex, "Are you sure you're okay to go home?" Alex nodded and followed Jordan. A week later, on the afternoon of June 11th, another familiar scene unfolded. Jordan and Alex had another argument, and the neighbor called the police again. Sergeant Ed was among them, and his body camera recorded the scene. This time Alex answered the door, timidly peeking out from behind it. "Officer, did you get beaten or anything like that?" Alex: No attack, nothing, just arguing. We're just under a lot of pressure." Alex's eyes were evasive, his face filled with a sickly expression. Out of concern, Ed felt it was necessary to take him to the hospital again. As they were about to leave, Jordan came out holding their daughter and said goodbye to Alex. Their interaction was oddly strange. Ed took Alex to the police car and, looking seriously at him, said, "When you tell me the truth, we'll leave. You need help." Alex still refused to cooperate until Ed turned off the body camera. Only then did Alex let down his guard and admit to being abused by Jordan. He also reminded Ed not to say it was his confession, but to attribute it to the neighbor's discovery. By now, Ed had a clear understanding of the situation. He sent Alex to the hospital and went back alone to question Jordan. Jordan spoke calmly and eloquently, clearly an expert at this. Ed took her to the police station. On the way, Jordan, seemingly unaware of the situation, asked curiously, "How long do you think I'll stay in there?" "An hour." Meanwhile, Alex received a diagnosis at the hospital. "You might have only 10 days to live." After treatment on the way back, an officer took Alex to have a McDonald's meal. "This is the best food I've ever eaten. I haven't had a hot meal in a long time," Alex said. After 2 years, Alex finally returned home, back to his family and friends. He could finally sleep in a bed again, eat hot meals, and be with his grandfather. Soon after, he also managed to bring back his 2 children. During his 2 years of being out of touch, his mother, Geraldine, had countless dreams about him. Of her 3 sons, she worried the most about Alex and his twin brother, especially since Alex was born prematurely, weighing only 2 pounds at birth and surviving multiple rescues in the ICU. It was clear how much the family cared for their youngest son. On September 28, 2017, Jordan was charged with 17 crimes, including severe physical harm, coercion, and controlling behavior. She had no history of mental illness or depression and was fully responsible for her actions. In April 2018, Jordan pleaded guilty to coercion and control in an intimate relationship, intentional injury, and other charges, and was sentenced to 7.5 years in prison. She became the first woman in the UK to be jailed for coercive and controlling behavior. Due to legal procedures and other reasons, Jordan avoided additional sentencing and, perhaps due to good behavior in prison, was paroled after serving 1.5 years. However, she was still restricted from contacting Alex. Afterward, Alex bravely accepted interviews from various media outlets, using his story to speak out for justice. In February 2019, a documentary about him was released, causing a considerable stir. People began to recognize the plight of abused men. When asked why he didn't defend himself or escape as an adult, Alex responded, "At first I thought it was normal because I'd never had a girlfriend before. Later, I hoped things would get better. Finally, I had no way to contact anyone. Jordan told me that if I tried to escape, I would die because she would run me over with a car." Later, Alex became a coach for a football team sponsored by a domestic violence charity. He began to actively share his story, teaching people how to identify signs of abuse and how to rescue themselves. Domestic abuse can happen to anyone, regardless of gender. It's important to recognize the signs, speak up, and seek help. No one deserves to suffer in silence. There is always hope and support available. That's today's story. If you like my videos, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of my videos. See you next time.